Here we go again. Oh, huddle back to you. Here we go again. You like my singing? Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome. Here we go again. It's the I Did
And still do.
Marriage Podcast, and we are coming to you in video. Bing, 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 bing. This is Karletta and Emmett, of course. She's Karletta. I'm Emmett, and we're just excited to continue to do this. Bad lighting at all.
Yes.
She
We
looks like
acknowledge that.
She looks like an angel.
But everybody, start somewhere, right?
You got to start somewhere, right?
Right.
But I got my boom mic, so I'm really excited about that.
I don't know if this is close enough. Is it?
It is. It's close enough. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess.
Because you say I talk low, so.
You do talk low. You're very, very quiet, like a sweet whisper. Whisper sweet nothings in my ear.
Woman.
Like a meek woman?
Like a meek
Oh,
woman.
Look, submission was last week. We did
woman.
submission last week, right? So we're not going to do submission again, at least for a while. All right. The worst. All right. So I want to get into it. I want to get into it.
Get it.
A few weeks ago, our family was together. My sisters and their husbands. We were sitting down talking. Actually, no, it was longer than it was like I think Christmas time. Now that I think about it.
Oh, you're talking about Christmas and not.
Yeah, I'm talking about Christmas
not a few weeks ago.
Right, Christmas time. Okay. And we were having a conversation. Somebody brought it up about lust and desire in marriage, or about lust in marriage. Excuse me. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about lusting after your spouse and all that kind of stuff. And then one of my brother-in-law says, well, in marriage, it's not lust, it's desire. Oh, Jesus. And I was like, yes. That's why this episode is entitled Brown Skin, because brown skin. I love your brown skin.
I thought you said my melanin was lacking.
It is lacking, but I still like it. You're this is not colorism now. You're a different shade of brown, but it's still brown. You're like one of Zach's crayons, like tan.
The peach one.
Yeah, peach. Yeah. I said peach, more peach.
That's what he uses for me when he draws me.
I love your brown skin. It's just that's the reality. So when we talk about desire, right? And here really is the question of the day. I desire you in like every way possible. Like for real, this. That you cannot, you can walk past me in your big fluffy robe.
Yes, I love
that
her.
You constantly wash.
Charlene.
Oh my God, I love smelling the bleach in the robe.
Charlene.
She has a name for everything. Almost like every piece of clothing, every piece that she has, she has a name for it, right?
Yes.
So Charlene, she calls her fluffy robe. I just call it the robe. It's the robe. Even that, right? Hey. If I see like that little bit of leg like peek out in it, I'm like, oh shucks, it's time. Y'all married folks, like what this is a marriage podcast. This the boys need to be in bed. What? It's time. It's about to go down. Okay, it's going down. All right, because as Marvin Gaye would say, my nature has arisen.
Oh my Lord.
Yes. All right.
This is where we're going today?
This is where we're going today. Brown skin. All right. Okay. So desire is real. This is the kickoff. Desire is real. Mm-hmm. I desire you in every way. You know this. We've been married now for 15 years. And even after 15 years, all it takes is a look, mm-hmm. a touch. Like I said, you can be in that big fluffy bathrobe. I wish I could show you guys out there, but you could be in that big fluffy bathrobe and boom, I'm trying to get it in. I'm not even going to lie. That's just the truth, right? Because mm-hmm. I still desire you. Mm-hmm. I often feel like, I desire you more than you desire me.
Well, you also say you love me more than I love you.
That's true.
I think you're always going to say that you do something more than me. You love me more. I disagree with that, but okay. It's not that I desire you less. I just have a lot of things going on at the same time.
All of us do.
Sometimes it's harder for me to, that it's harder for me to shut everything else out and be focused on one thing.
And that's why men are like waffles and women are like spaghetti. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We are two different, species, if you will. We're just different. I have the same amount, if not more, depending on the week, things going on in my mind, in my heart, all that kind of stuff. One of the biggest lies is that men aren't emotional. We are absolutely
Oh yeah, that's not
emotional,
true.
emotional beings, right?
Right.
And so I got a lot of things going on too. But the difference between us is, and I'm quite sure there are those of you out there, they're the same way, brothers. I know you probably about to feel me on this. The difference is that it doesn't matter. Ooh, look, I was talking about you last
Oh,
week.
see.
I
Ooh.
was talking about it last week and this week.
Yikes,
Because
bro.
I'm emotional. I'm getting into it now. I'm
Yes,
in my
so
feelings.
passionate.
hmm Feel me on this, brother. Doesn't matter what I have going on at any given moment. Whatever I have going on takes a back seat to intimacy with you in whatever shape form that takes. All right, I could be mad, I could be hurt, I could be upset. I had the gout in my foot and I was still trying to get it in. You remember that? I know you remember that.
I
She
remember.
was like, oh, what do you
Barely
look,
moving.
I'm about
Like,
to take this Tylenol and we going, get the popping. All right, so
and I'm thinking about you, so I love you more
no, you don't.
because I'm concerned about your
You
health and
don't.
your
I love you
well-being.
more because I am literally willing to risk pain to be intimate with you. So once again, we can separate that oftentimes, but women, a lot of times you have, oh, you're thinking about this, you're thinking about that, you're thinking about the kid, da da da, blah 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 blah. Ain't trying to hear all that. Ain't trying to hear all that. And but correct me if I'm wrong. It's one of those things where that especially after like a first kid, um the I don't know if it's desire, but certainly the sex life kind of wanes a bit. It goes down, and it's almost like peaks and valleys,
Right.
if you will.
Right.
But we're talking about desire, and even though I joke about you, I know you have desire for me. Of course I desire you. The real question that we're asking and talking about today is, what really does diminish desire in a marriage? And my idea is that for men, it's really simple. It's really simple, right? Men, it's probably even Neanderthalish, little barbaric. Men want to eat, men want to chill, men want to have sex, and men want to sleep. That's about it. I'm sorry, and in this day and time, of course, make money.
That's pretty basic.
It's pretty basic. And I could probably whittle a couple of those things out. Like, men want to sleep and have sex.
Wait, food.
And food. Okay, that comes and goes, but those things are very critical and key. And in marriage, right? And it may be unfair. Maybe it is unfair to, and I'm asking you, maybe it's unfair to ask you all to do this, but in marriage, we want you in essence to be our everything, right? We want the wife, we want the girlfriend, we want all of that stuff. But then there are some guys who, when that their idea of that desire diminishes from the woman, they're not doing the things they used to do. The sex goes down. The number of times a week, it goes down. Then they're hunting, they're searching. And we've had this conversation several times about, men, and, because you're always like, how are you going to do all that? And not me, I'm just, just in general, but how you going to do, like the, somebody's out there cheating and they don't even look good as a wife. And I keep telling you, it's not about the look necessarily. It's about a physical desire that's being met, or that's being unfulfilled at home.
I think it's a lack of self-control and a lack of respect.
That's not just it, though. It's
a
not it.
lack of
That's
respect
not it.
for the vows that you
You
took.
can't
That your
whittle it down.
flesh is
No,
so weak
no,
that, oh my
no,
goodness, my wife won't have sex with me
no.
for like a week or two because of whatever. I'm gonna have to go out and find it somewhere else. That is a lack of discipline and self-control.
It's
It is
not.
a
It's
violation
not.
of your vows.
It is. Yes, it is. It is. I agree with that. But but why aren't you also putting in there? what the wife is not doing as well.
Why does it have to be something she's not doing? What if
Because
she's going through something? What if
get over it.
get over it?
Get over it.
It's easy for you to say.
No, it's not.
It's very easy for you to say.
Because we can do the same thing. We can get over it and be everything, we need to be for you in that time. And even and even if we're not, then I still think, what one of my seminary professors said this, and this is kind of where I come from. Communication. When we talk about marriage, we talk about 3 things in marriage that can ruin marriage: communication, sex, money. All right. If you got some other ones, you can certainly hit us up. HeyYoungWorld07@gmail.com. Instagram, same thing. HeyYoungWorld07. But sincerely, 3 main things: communication, sex, money.
Okay.
All right. If I'm not fulfilling you in some way, that's communication. You need to let me know that. If you're not fulfilling me in some way, then I need to let you know that. But once you've alerted somebody that and they don't do it, they feel like they're not heard. And how many more times? It's almost like what Pac was talking about. We're gonna knock on the door. Oh, we're gonna need some food. Next time, we're gonna bang on the door. We need some food. And after a while, I'm coming in blasting because you're not hearing what I'm saying. So, in other words, if you're not hearing what I'm saying, then I'm not going to keep repeating myself. And so, yes, it is an acknowledgement of this is not just a desecration of marriage vows and a lack of self-control. But if you're saying it's all one-sided, that's total bull.
I didn't say it's one-sided.
You made it sound like it's one-sided.
I'm not just talking about a husband. I'm talking about a wife. It's a lack of self-control. Like, you can't control yourself enough. You think a dude looks good or he said the right thing to you and, oh, I want to have sex with him and I'm a married woman. Like, no. That's lack of self-control. Why are you in that situation in the first place?
I think, though, okay.
Like, you shouldn't even put yourself in a situation where you're going to get tempted. And the situations that you could be in to get tempted. That's
the first layer.
If you're around someone, a certain person that looks good or whatever, or someone that could be flirting with you, don't put yourself in a situation to have something happen.
That's the first layer. All right. Right. Okay. I agree with that. That's the first layer. But then if you're in that situation and you're still not getting those needs met, boom, it can happen.
Well, what if what you're asking your partner to do is something they're uncomfortable with?
Well, I guess y'all should have talked about that in premarital
What if
counseling.
it's like, you want a certain type of sex that your partner doesn't want to do, or,
isn't that what safe words are for?
Oh my gosh. Safe words are during, right?
All right. Well,
I'm just saying, what if the person's uncomfortable with that? What if they need time to ease into that new area of sex that they've never done or they're just not comfortable with? Give a little time, or maybe who knows the circumstances. Everybody's relationship is different.
It is.
You might want it every day and I don't. Not because I don't want you, because I just want to go to sleep. Why is that? Can we talk about that? It's not about you. I am tired. I just want to go to sleep, please.
But see,
it's not about not desiring you. It's like, I'm tired. Can I go to sleep tonight? I love you.
I'm tired too.
You are sexy. You are all the things to me. I just want to go to bed. That's it. And you don't have to get upset about it or take it personally. I'm tired. A lot of people feel that way. It's not about not wanting you. I just want to go to sleep.
Sex drives don't match. Like, the research kind of shows that sex drives a lot of times don't match. Now, there are women out there that are, quite insatiable also.
Yeah.
You're not one of them.
No, I'm not insatiable.
You're not insatiable.
No, I'm not.
I think men are classified mostly as being kind of, higher sex drives, right, more insatiable and all that kind of stuff. But once again, I'm tired too. So what? I mean, why can't you separate that and just come for the, no pun intended. All right. Why can't you separate that and come in and be in on the moment with me? I mean, this is not a movie. All right, this is not a movie. We're not talking about love making for 3 hours here. You know what I'm
I
saying?
sometimes I
So
don't know. I mean, I guess I could just assume that you want it every night, every day.
see here,
So I
see
should
this.
come
No,
into it like, boom, this is what's gonna
not
happen today.
necessarily. Maybe if brothers were getting it more, then it wouldn't be like that.
Okay, now you make it like we'll never do it. That's not true.
No, I said brothers. I said brothers. I said brothers.
Okay, like I don't want it to
Because
be.
even within our own life, like we discovered that with certain medication
Yeah,
that your sex drive was like really it was like really low.
yeah, yeah.
And once you stop taking it, it was like hallelujah,
Right.
hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
That's a factor too on
Wore
both
brother out.
sides.
I
On
ain't
both
even gonna
sides,
lie.
medication, illnesses. I mean,
Hmm.
you kind of gotta have a little grace when it comes to that. Sometimes things happen, or that's why that's okay.
Uh-oh, I'm in trouble now.
So I saw this thing on Instagram where it was a lady and she was it was a reel and she was like me texting my husband at 10 o'clock in the morning, peaches and eggplants and stuff. Then me when my husband comes home, she's like knocked out.
Yes, exactly.
That's why I don't do that anymore because
Right.
anything could happen between that time of the text,
And that's not
the
fair.
sexy text, and when you get back,
That's
where
not
I'm
fair.
like, I am done. It could be
That's not fair.
no, it could be the day I've had, or it could be something that you did that made me mad, and I don't want that.
What? Deal with that later.
You shouldn't have done what you did. I don't want you
Why
touching
does
me.
you being mad at me? What does that have to do with the
Because I
intimacy?
can't feel it.
Ooh,
Because
that was
I'm mad
mine.
at you.
Bars.
No bars. Because I'm mad at you. I can't do it when I'm mad.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I'm mad at you, and if you don't know why, then you need to figure it out. If I haven't told you already.
It's the I Didn't Still Do Marriage podcast with Karletta and
I'm just
Emmett.
being honest.
We're talking about desire, and it has morphed into, part of kind of a branch of that. We're talking about marriage, talking about sex and marriage and all that good stuff.
Oh, goodness, my mom might hear.
Oh, no.
Oh no, mom.
If your mama hear this and know that we got 2 kids and she gets,
She know we did it
upset,
twice,
yeah,
right?
she knows at least did it twice.
She
She
know
knows
we
at least
did
did
it
it
2
twice.
times.
At least twice, right? At least twice. And you may want to factor in maybe 4 times just in case the first 2 didn't stick
Just
or whatever.
in case, right?
But yeah, I think she'll be
She
okay.
knows.
I think she'll be all right. I think so.
Okay.
I'm still sticking to my guns on this, and that is Prop Joe in The Wire said something. I'm gonna heavily edit it because The Wire, HBO, The Wire. If you haven't watched it, I don't know where you've been. Best HBO series ever. Period. Don't at me on that.
Okay.
But he said something. I don't even remember in the context of what he was talking about, but it still holds true. It's like, people pay therapists, hundreds of dollars a week for the therapist to do something simple. To tell the man to bring home flowers, more, and to tell the woman to do something, that she don't want to do a little more.
Mm-hmm.
and it's simple. It's something that you should be able to figure out.
Mm-hmm.
Something you should be able to figure out, intimacy and all that. And does it still not go back to desire? Because it's to me, it's still a question of, do you desire? Do you still desire me? Because here's the thing. If you let all those other things get in the way of your desire, somebody else won't. And even as Christians, right, we take these marriage vows, we have the marriage vows. I'm not saying they're not important. I'm not saying that when you step outside, if you step outside, that you have not messed up. I'm not saying that, because I absolutely believe in the marriage vows. Yes. At the same time, these things can happen. And because we're human beings first. So if I feel like there's a lack of desire, guess what? There's always somebody that's going to fulfill that need for desire. If my wife isn't doing that, once
So
again,
you threatening me.
No,
You
I'm not.
threatening me with infidelity. That's what you're doing.
No, I'm not threatening.
So if I don't
it's
give it
just
to
real.
you gonna get it from somewhere else.
I'm not threatening you. But that's
what you're saying.
That's the reality.
That's a threat.
That's reality, though.
That's a threat. So now I got to do all the things, and just to keep you from cheating on me.
How about just doing the one thing? How about that?
The one thing. Okay. Well, okay. See, now this takes me back, and I was thinking about this last night. I remember before we got married, I asked a couple of married women what a few questions, but one of them was, what if he wants to have sex and I don't?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Most of the time.
Each of them said, do it anyway.
Yeah, I remember that.
And at the time, I was like, okay. But as with a lot of other things, you have to learn in marriage as you go. There's nothing that really, people can't really tell you what to do. They can give you advice, but you have to live it.
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking that's not fair, because then that means it's everything is all about your pleasure.
No.
And that's some toxic old stuff. Do whatever he wants you to do, or he's going to go out and cheat on you. But what if I don't want it?
Yeah, which leads into another conversation. Um,
And I still stand on that and saying it's not fair. I don't want to have sex with you tonight. And that should be okay. Just like I'm supposed to forget everything that it might be on my mind or how I might be feeling or physically or whatever. I'm supposed to shut it out and do it anyway.
at a certain point, that happens
But
anyway. Though, at a certain point, after a few days, you're in your mind thinking, "Oh no, I haven't had sex with him, so I guess I better have sex with him, no matter what I'm feeling like." And then when you come to it, it's lackluster.
right. And that's what I'm saying. So you want me to do it anyway, but then when I do and I don't want to do it, you get mad because I'm doing it because I didn't want to do it.
Why can't you just want to do it?
But that's it. It's uneven at times. It's unfair. I'm supposed to do it regardless. That's it. My wants and feelings don't matter. I have to please you, and I think that's not a realistic thing to tell people, because life.
The reality is no.
Give me a
Well,
break.
no.
Give me
Yeah,
some
yes,
grace.
you do have to please me as I have to please you. You're making it sound like it's one sided. It's not one sided.
Well, like I said, when I asked those questions, that's what it was. Do it anyway. Give him what he wants,
Get what they want,
regardless of
Tony
how I'm
Blunt say
feeling.
what?
Regardless of how I'm feeling, that's what I was told, and I don't think that's right. Because what about me?
Here's another misconception that men just want it. No, we don't just want it, because when you come to the place of saying finally, okay, I'm going to do this, and you just there, that's not what we want. it's
Right.
it's so
That's why I'm like, let me be there. If I feel like I'm being forced, or not forced, but like I have to do this because you're my husband, and I have to give you whatever you want, it's not going to be good, because I'm just doing it.
so
It's fulfilling my wifely duty.
we are in essence we're not playing roles. All right, this is a sincere conversation, and it's a conversation that we
We
have
have
had.
had,
It's a
yes, over
conversation
the
we've had.
years. Yes.
And I'll say that for me it took it took a lot of patience. It took a lot of patience and understanding what it is you were saying, and really hearing that. um
And for me, hearing you.
right, communication once again.
Yeah.
And but for a while there wasn't communication. It was just I would be mad, you know.
And like real mad. Like
What does
not
that
talking
say?
to me the next day mad.
What
Like
was
for
that?
real.
Lack of booty makes you moody.
Like, come on, man. Really? You mad at me for real?
I was upset, yeah, because she was like, "Why can't you just, why can't you just be here with me in the moment?" Just
But
and
that's not me. And like I said earlier, while we've been talking, it's hard for me, and I'm working on it. It's hard for me to take the thousand things out of my brain sometimes, and sometimes it's not hard for me to do. Sometimes I can be like whatever and just be 100% in the moment. But sometimes I can't do that.
Here's the key. I still think is the key, right? It's number one, talking about it, because number we you said it earlier. What if there are things that, that somebody, your partner's asking you to do and you don't want to do, and all that kind of stuff. When you go into marriage, you have to discuss these things called expectations. And what is the expectation? Is the expectation that you're going to be, making love 5 times out of the week,
Every day,
3 times out of the week? You're right, every day, right? And I think that going into it, the expectation, especially after getting married, and it was like boom, 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 left and right. You're newlyweds. That's what newlyweds do. I never
first time
understood
living together,
right,
and having all the freedom and all that stuff. Yeah, I get it.
but I didn't realize that's what older couples would talk about. Then it slows down. Then it really slowed down. After having our first child. So that expectation though was, we're supposed to be doing it more than this. Why aren't you doing it more than this? Why aren't we, more intimate and all of that? And I still say, this is what I was about to say. I still say, I think the Bible is pretty clear in that line. I don't think it can be left room for interpretation, but I don't think much. Husbands, love your wives. Husbands, love your wives. I take that. Husbands, love your wives. What does that mean? That means, for me, in a seeking to have an unconditional type of love, that means listening and understanding, and hearing what you have said, and dealing with putting myself in your shoes, for that. Because when I stopped getting mad, and when I realized that was being selfish, it is then that I backed off. And when I backed off, once again, it was like,
it got better.
Hallelujah.
It got better.
Hallelujah.
Because I didn't feel pressure.
You didn't feel pressure, right?
And it shouldn't be a pressure filled environment or atmosphere, because you want to be comfortable, you want to be free, right? And I didn't feel like that for a while. Yeah. So I'm so glad that you.
I'm gonna sing. I'm gonna start singing.
No, you can't.
I want to be free.
Speaking of songs, this makes me think of, I love Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Yeah.
Shout out to Frankie. I love you. No, seriously, I do. Like, my love for Frankie Beverly is
real.
It's real.
It's real.
He has, I can't think of the name of the song, but the chorus is, I want to feel like I'm wanted. I need to feel like I'm needed. And the whole song is just talking about a relationship.
That's how men feel.
And I get that. And I know that. And I know that. And as a wife, and loving you the way that I do, I really worked hard on trying to push back my own stuff, and be there with you 100% in the moment. I did, and I do. It's just that, and you understand me now after all these years, that you could tell this ain't gonna happen today. And not that and I'm not saying that you're okay with that, but you're like, all right. But
no, I have. Yeah, I think because I have sought the understandable, the woman, you,
me. Don't generalize me.
Oh, I'm generalizing, baby.
Don't generalize.
No. That is across the board.
No.
Women are the most inscrutable creatures God has ever made.
I'm the only one of me. So, boom.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's true. But you and your entire gender, can I say that? Is that the right word? Sex?
Can we not have the sex and gender discussion? We're talking about this.
But what I'm saying is, all y'all are very hard to comprehend at times. And so guess what? We as men, if you're in a relationship with a woman, if you're a man, you're in a relationship with a woman, bro.
I thought I was a pretty open book.
And I think, and I'm quite sure this extends.
You don't think I'm an open book? Like I tell you what's on my mind.
You're an open book, but you're like a
I have a smart mouth. I have a bad attitude.
you're like
I don't have a
a
bad attitude. Not all the time.
you're like a book that's really hard to read.
No, that's
Yeah.
not true.
Like you're open, but it's like, oh man, I need a dictionary to read this book.
He lying. He lying. He lying. I'm about as straightforward as
About it straightforward. Okay.
as I think anybody could expect. I
Think-
mean, if I don't say it, you can look at me and tell that I'm not feeling you.
yeah,
So,
sure.
but that's with anybody, not just you.
Yeah. To sum up, I would say, oh boy, that if you're not communicating, please start communicating.
Yeah.
I mean, like for real, for real. And you can be frustrated and all that kind of stuff, but you have to come to some kind of point of talking and sharing and coming to a consensus, because I feel that that's part of the work in marriage.
Mm-hmm.
You have said that I'm going to live my life with this person. Now, I don't even know if I should say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you come to the point where you feel like you cannot work it out with this person anymore, then maybe I guess that's a different conversation,
Yeah.
that you need to have. But if you want to be in a marriage relationship with this particular person, then you have to realize working it out is par for the course.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can be frustrated all day long, but that's not going to really fix anything. And when I'm frustrated, I get angry. I'll say things that I don't need to say. I can be petty, blah, 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 all that stuff. And throughout this process, if I hadn't learned that, and even I felt like I learned it too late, but I think it was still, worth learning, to give you that space. And when you get that space, you're always going to return to me. Those are so we have matching tattoos on our backs of the Odo Fe Kwan. It's an Adinkra symbol, and it means love will always find its way. And in essence, we got those tattoos because we know that, even in the broader scheme of things, for us, it's a forever love, and we'll always find our way back to one another for whatever reason, however, but also at the same time, we also interpret that to mean that love is going to find its way through the everyday things of life, and that love is always going to overcome. Yes, it may sound cliche-ish, it may sound squishy. I know there are people out there who may be listening like, ugh, love sucks. Love is it's overrated, it's not real, blah, 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 whatever. We're talking about us, and we're also talking about the fact that love has to be worked out. This is not a Disney movie. This is not a fairy tale. It's everyday. It's real. Love can be ugly, but at the same time, it can also be rewarding. And that's what I take from this. So do I desire you? Absolutely, at all times. I always desire you. And even though I felt like at one time you didn't desire me, I had to learn that that was not true, that you had to have your space. And I know you desire me. Does it still hurt sometimes when I get those emojis like, with the beach and with the eggplant? And, I'm like thinking about it. And when I come home, you got Charlene on, you got that fuzzy robe. Every now and then it happens. And it's like, okay, woosah.
But Charlene doesn't mean it's a no.
Not
Charlene
necessarily. That's true. It doesn't mean it's a no.
That's what I like to do. Take everything up, put my robe on, and
we're gonna have to have a part 2 of this, because we didn't even get to like all the things like lack of desire and all that, and then even the lust factor that happens in marriage that can lead to doing other things. We didn't even get to all that.
But the biggest thing for me is, again, humility. You have to humble yourself to your partner like you did. You humbled yourself and really took the time to understand me. I humbled myself. I recognized not my faults, but where I could do some work, where I was lacking. Because I don't want you to step out on me. Of course not. I want to be the only thing that you think about all day. But I know that it's going to take some stuff for me to keep you interested and to do, to keep you wanting me. So I can't get lazy.
All you gotta do is breathe.
Well, not lazy, but
just breathe. I want you.
Just considering your feelings too. So
Mhm.
I really appreciate our communication and how we always said that if we ever got to a point where we felt like we were going in that direction, we would come and talk about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because then that means, hold up, what
Mm-hmm.
what's going on?
Right.
What did I do? Where can I do some work? Because I don't want that to happen. Because I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to go to jail.
Thank y'all for listening. It's our first video podcast. Thank y'all for listening.
Thank you so much.
This is Hey Young World podcast group, but you've been listening to the I Did
And still do
Marriage podcast with Karletta and Emmett, where we've been talking about desire, been talking about marriage, sex, making love, all that stuff. And I can guarantee there's going to be a part two. All right. So Hey Young World 07 at gmail.com. Hit us up. Hey Young World 07 on Instagram. Watch out for those reels and watch out for all the other things that we'll be doing too. Zachy's Take. We're going to do some video with my man Zach giving you another movie review, and family meeting is coming up real soon. So we're excited about that. I want to say it, and this is going to be it. I love you for real, not for play.
For real. I love you for real, not for play.
Later.